Hi there, my name's Jacqueline and I'm the Director of Possibilities and founder of Soak. We're going to talk about lingerie care. It's really important to hand wash your lingerie to make it last longer. And it's important to wash bras and sets every 1 to 2 wears, especially in the summer when you're building up natural body oils, sweat, invisible dirt, things like that you might not see on the garment but we know is there. And the more frequently you wash your garment with soap, the longer it's going to last. So we're going to talk about specifics of individual kinds of bras, padded, lace, sports bras, stretchy materials, and we're going to talk about general tips about hand washing with soap. We have a basin here, and we have about room temperature water in here. So I want the water in this basin to be comfortable enough that I'm okay putting my hands in it without it being really cold. Because if it's cold, I'm not going to want to put my hands in there, and the washing experience isn't going to be fun. We also don't want the water to be too hot, depending on the kind of fiber we have, because we don't want the temperature to react with the fiber. Another important thing when washing lingerie is to take off our jewelry. While it is safe to have our jewelry on in soap, we don't want our rings or any other jewelry that we have on to catch on the delicate fibers. So we always want to make sure we take off our jewelry before we wash our lingerie. Generally, when you wash, you want to use about a teaspoon or a cupful to a gallon of water. So that's also the equivalent of 5 milliliters to 3 to 4 liters of water. And that's pretty much what we've got going on here in our basin. It would be the equivalent of using a bathroom sink at home. And if you're going to do a larger wash in a wash tub or a bathtub or a giant laundry basin, 2 things: make sure it's clean first, and secondly, you're going to need a little more soak. So I'm going to use Fig, and I'm just going to do a little squirt in the water. The exact measurements are not really critical. You just want to make sure that you have enough in the water to swoosh it around and to start to get a little bit of suds in the water. Now, we're not making a bubble bath here, so you're not going to get crazy big bubbles and crazy big suds because soak is a no-rinse process. Bubbles are an illusion, and while we love them in our bubble bath, we don't want them in our soak. Okay. So we've got our soak in our water here, and we've swished it around a bit to have it mix in with the water, and we're going to put our garments in here. We generally like to wash similar colors together. So today I'm going to wash all the garments that come in my purple range together, and I'm going to leave my nude garments or my light white, cream, beige garments separately, just in case any of the over dye from the garment comes out in the water. The other thing with soak is that you want to make sure there's enough water to fully saturate the garments and so that the water can move freely through the fibers. It's important to wash light colors together. While most commercial lingerie will not have over dye come out in the water, it's sometimes a risk that we don't want to take. So you can see today that I'm washing everything that's in my red and purple family together. There's not a lot of suds on the surface because soak is a no-rinse wash. And what that means is you're not going to get any buildup or residue on your hands, and you're not going to have any buildup on your fibers, which makes washing really easy. The amount of water that we put in here is enough to make sure that there's water moving through the garment. You can tell when you put a garment in the water and you don't have enough water because the water doesn't fully get saturated in it. And we want to make sure that the water has enough room to move through the garment, because what's happening is soak is moving through the garment with the water, grabbing all the little dirt particles that are in the garment and bonding them by pulling them back out with the water so that it comes out with the water. And if you can't freely have your garments move around in the water, then you don't have enough space for soaking. So if we assume that 15 to 20 minutes have gone by and our garments have been soaking for a while, they're ready to come out of the water. In today's case, I'm not specifically washing sets, but if you have sets, we want you to wash them together. If you have a sports bra or an item that has a particularly soiled area on it, you can certainly use the garment and agitate it gently by rubbing together. But the idea with soak and the gentle fibers is that the less agitation and rubbing that we do on the fibers, the more gentle it is and the longer they'll last. So with this bra where we've got velvet and lace combined together, the less handling that I have to do of the product, the longer it's going to last. That's why soak is perfect, because while the garment is soaking, soak does all the work, and the garment just gets to sit there and have a nice bath. Another tip for hand washing, and particularly if you're going to put your bras in the machine in a lingerie wash bag, is to make sure that you have closed the back of the bra. Make sure that you've closed the back of the bra when you're doing your hand or machine washing. This is because we don't want these little hooks to get caught in the other lace and lingerie that you're washing with. Alright, so 15 minutes has gone by, we're ready to take the garment out, and we can tell in here for sure that some dirt has come out because the water is starting to get dark. If you're washing vintage lingerie that you've, say, purchased, or something that you haven't worn in a very long time or have been gifted, stockings, slips, that sort of thing, and the water gets very dirty very quickly, we want you to rinse that water out and do the soaking process again. So you want to repeat it until the water is reasonably clear, because after all, we're not getting grass stains and crazy dirt out of these, we're getting invisible dirt and body soils, and so that's something that's very light. So you should just be getting a little bit of coloration in the water from the dirt coming out into the water. When you remove the garment from the water, it's important not to have the weight of the water pulled up in the garment. So we would never pull up a garment out of the water with just the top of it, letting it get full. We want to fully support the garment as it comes out of the water, so that our hands are doing the work with the weight of the water, not the garment. Gently press to get all the water out, and then we're going to lay the bra, opened up at this point, on a towel or a flat surface. We're going to lay this lace bra on a flat surface, and what we're working at doing is not distorting the fabric and certainly not distorting the wire in any way at all. Then I'm going to fold my towel over and I'm gently going to press the excess water out of the garment. We are not going to wring this, we're not going to squeeze it, we're not going to agitate it, because all we're trying to do is get the extra water out into our towel so that we can lay it to dry. We especially don't want to wring something that has a beautiful velvet and an underwire in it, because we don't want to distort the wire and we don't want the wire to come out. And as you can see, which unfortunately you can't feel, but as you can see, it sort of looks like it's almost dry, because by the impression in the towel, we're getting the water out of it. And if we have to do it again, we simply do the same thing. We're just finger pressing the water out of the garment really gently. So in the same way that when you wash your face, you don't vigorously scrub your face, you wouldn't want to vigorously scrub your bra. This is skincare for your clothing, so it's the same idea. So you have to consider your lingerie like those most precious parts of your body, like your face. And when you wash your face, you gently rub, a really gently wash into the surface. And that's the exact same thing we're doing here. And then we have the option of either laying it to dry on a clean towel or another flat surface. And we're always going to put the structure of the garment in place so that it has a nice ability to dry exactly the way we want it to be, so it's ready to be worn again. When we're washing lace, it's really important to have taken off all of our jewelry. So you can see I've taken off my rings because I don't want any of the stones or any of the decorative aspects of my rings to be getting caught in the lace. And we're going to gently support the garment and try to get as much water out of it. This is a pair of panties, so there's no underwire, there's no clips, there are no strap adjusting things, so it's straight lace. And then we're going to take it out, lie it in its shape on our towel, and we're going to use our towel to pat it out clean. If you have something that you're washing that's lace that doesn't have any straps, doesn't have any clips, doesn't have any metal parts, nothing beyond just the material itself, once you've put it in your towel, you can roll it up. The rolling gives it a little extra pressure to make sure you're taking as much water as you can out of the garment before you set it to dry. And this is something that, as I've said, you can only do if you're washing something that is totally lace, like these Great Knix Wear panties. This kind of lace you can wash like that because there's no clips, there's no straps, there's nothing else in here that's going to get caught. And as you can see, it's mostly dry, and we're going to set it again on a dry piece of towel in the shape that it's supposed to be, out to dry just like that. The more you hand wash your garments like this, the longer they're going to last. So we encourage you to use soak and hand wash these garments to make them last longer. So we've got a sports bra soaking here. It's been soaking a little more than our other garments because, as you know, if we've been working out in it, it's going to be a little more soiled than a traditional bra. Same rules apply though, a 15 to 20 minute soak, making sure there's enough water in the basin to properly kind of work its way through the fibers. This bra in particular has a little bit of padding and structure, so we're not going to take it out of the water and squeeze it. It also has underwire, so we're going to lift it up, supporting the weight of the garment, and we're going to gently squeeze the additional water out because we want to get the most amount of water out in our basin. Once we've squeezed out as much water as we can without distorting the fibers, we're going to bring it on over here to our towel, and we're going to lay it out flat on our towel. If we have a little bit of padding in the bra, what we want to do is we want to bring our towel and gather it up underneath that spot so that we can gently press water out of the foam without distorting it. So we're kind of making a sandwich with the cup of the bra, and I'm using lots of the towel on the back to support this little cup so that we're squeezing as much water as we can out of it without distorting it. And as we've talked about in other videos, because this bra has underwire, we aren't going to go roll it up in a towel, and we're not going to do anything rough or abrasive. We can lay the other towel on it, we can pat it out as well flat just to get as much water out as we can before we take it and we lay it to dry. And when we lay it to dry, we want to gently reform the cup, which we've done also in our drying process, so that when it sits to dry, it's getting as close to its original structural position as it can. And that's the really best way to take care of a bra and make sure that it lasts as long as it can.